Hey guys, we'd like to welcome you to the JB podcast. Today we're going to be talking about our predictions for the upcoming NBA awards.
We're going to try to focus on most improved player, rookie of the year, coach of the year, sixth man, the team with the best record, and MVP.
Okay, so where should we start?
I think we should start at rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year, it's an easy pick. Ben Simmons, I believe, if he doesn't get injured, I think he will be the rookie of the year. And he really has, I think Brett Brown's going to let him go and see what he can do. And they're going to have another great rookie on that team.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried if he does win Rookie of the Year, because you know the Sixers, they'll probably just trade him right afterwards if he wins. But
well, Sam Hinkie's gone, so we're good.
That's true. That's true. I'm gonna say two options. You know, I love Simmons. So I'm gonna have to say Simmons number one. But second, as a dark horse, I'm gonna have to say Chris Dunn. The Timberwolves already have the past two Rookie of the Years, and then they got an all-time great bust in Anthony Bennett, but they've gotten the past three number one picks. But I think this year, Chris Dunn, if they trade Ricky Rubio, they have to trade Ricky Rubio. But if he gets the opportunity, I think he's going to potentially win Rookie of the Year.
I'd say my dark horse is going to be Buddy Hield for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Okay.
I think he's going to be my dark horse. Okay. Let's move on to, what do you say, most improved?
Let's do it.
Okay, most improved. I honestly think most improved this year. Oh, man, this is a hard category in my opinion. Probably the hardest one to pick.
Yeah.
Because there's so many players that can do so much better. But most improved this year, oh, man, I don't know how I can pick.
Should I go first?
Yeah, you go first. I got to think a little.
Okay, I'm going to go with two options here. My first is Miles Turner. For a few reasons. I was looking at his stats as a second-year player. Or was he a rookie?
He was a rookie last year.
Okay, so as a rookie, he averaged some of the best statistics for a rookie in Pacers history. And you remember Paul George won most improved player as well, his breakout year into his all-stardom, you know? So I think, especially under Al Jefferson's tutelage, he's going to get better in the post, his scoring's going to go up, and then he's already a beast at rebounding.
Okay.
And then my second choice is, this is kind of a weird one because he was injured all of last year, but I'm going to have to go Dante Exum.
Oh, I was going to pick him, but I just feel like he won't get enough time behind George Hill, but you never know. Yeah, so that's actually going to be mine too. I was thinking about it. I was either thinking Dante Exum or Alec Burks, if Alec Burks explodes this year, but I don't know if he will since he's behind Rodney Hood and Joe Johnson up there.
And he did just break his leg.
I know. I know. He's really injury prone, but I think, so I'm going to do Dante Exum as my front man, and then as my dark horse, oh man, you know what? As my dark horse, I'm going to put Trey Lyles.
All Jasmine, I see you.
Well, it's the team that I know the most about, so that's what I'm going with.
Okay, I could honestly see that if the Jazz have a breakout year this year, they could come home with a lot of awards.
Yeah, they really could.
Okay, should we move on to six man?
Let's do six man of the year. In my opinion, I'm still going to stay with the Jazz for one of them because I think Joe Johnson will do. Joe Johnson or Alec Burks will do great off the bench at the Jazz. I think Joe Johnson has a better chance of winning, and the bench has improved a lot for the Utah Jazz. But Joe Johnson, I believe he will take it, and then you have to put Jamal Crawford back in the race because he's always amazing on the bench when he's playing with the LA Clippers. So those are my two.
I was honestly going to say Jamal Crawford as well because, one, he's not even that efficient of a scorer, but when the LA Clippers bench basically is terrible besides Crawford,
pretty much.
He has to carry the entire offensive load, and he's 35 now, but he still he proves himself every single year.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And then my second choice, this is going to be tough. I might honestly have to go with J.R. Smith for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
You mean if he gets signed by the Cleveland Cavaliers?
I think he's going to be back. But either way, I think J.R. Smith is going to win six-man because I think they're going to look for more of a defensive approach in the starting lineup, and then he's just going to come off and be a spark right off the bench. And you know how hot he can get. So
that's very true. You also have to throw Andre Iguodala in that because the Warriors are a great team, but their bench is a little iffy.
Yeah.
After that, and Andre Iguodala is like the bright spot of that bench, but you have to throw him in it as well.
That's true.
Okay, so what's next, Jag?
Should we go to Coach of the Year?
Yeah.
Okay. My Coach of the Year. It's gonna sound kind of generic. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm going to have to go with Popovich.
Really?
He's probably the best coach anyway in the league. But I think this year, and this is a little controversial, but I think this year the Spurs are somehow going to get that 1 seed over the Golden State Warriors. I think the Warriors will only be like a game behind, but I think the Spurs are still going to get that 1 seed. Popovich is going to go home with another Coach of the Year.
That's a very easy pick to make, but in my opinion, it really depends on how the team holds up. See, my pick is Jeff Hornacek for the New York Knicks because it depends on how good his team will stay healthy because a lot of people on that team aren't very good at staying healthy. But I'm going to pick three coaches: Jeff Hornacek, Tom Thibodeau, or Quinn Snyder.
Okay.
All newer coaches to their team. But I believe Jeff Hornacek, if he can lead the team to the playoffs and get like a 6 seed, I believe he will have Coach of the Year for New York.
Mm-hmm. That'd be really nice for the Knicks, too, as the past few years they've been not so hot. And then my second choice is going to be Terry Stotts. Because remember, he almost won Coach of the Year last year when his team had a breakout year. And this year, they have another year under their belt, and they got better. They re-signed Alan Crabb. They have Damian Lillard,
They spent a lot of money this offseason.
They did on young talent. So if they don't pan out, that kind of sucks for them. But
yeah, very true. They don't have much money to spend anywhere else.
I think they're going to have a really successful year again, and I think Terry Stotts has a chance at that Coach of the Year.
Those are some good picks. I like them. Okay, I think we're on to best record. Is that what we're on to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so should we do best record or defensive player first?
Let's do best record real quick.
Best record. I'm not going to give it to the Golden State Warriors because I think they'll have chemistry issues to start off the bat. Like after, I would say, once you hit All-Star break, if all of them are healthy, they're going to do great.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they're going to have chemistry issues at the start. And I'm going to give best record to either San Antonio. Actually, no, I'm going to give it to San Antonio.
Okay.
And I'm going to predict that they get. I'm going to predict that they get 65 wins.
Okay, they can do that. That's 2 less wins than this year.
Well, yeah, I feel like they won't do as good as last year, but I still feel like they're going to do good. And I feel like the records this year in the NBA won't be as high as last year's because I feel like last year they were really up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really were. And this year they did get better offensively with Pau Gasol, but the defense, I mean, Tim Duncan was old, but he was still a pretty decent defender, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was.
So, and then we all know Pau Gasol doesn't really strive in that category.
No, he doesn't.
But for me, best record, I'm going to have to bring it back to the East. I honestly think the Cleveland Cavaliers coming off this championship, and Kyrie coming off that gold medal as well, I think they're going to be riding hot all season into the playoffs. I don't think they didn't really struggle last year, but they had a ton of injuries, So I don't think they'll have injury problems as much, and I think they're just going to ride off, and I think they're going to get, I'm saying ESPN projected them like 56, but I'm saying 64 wins, and I think that's going to be the league best record as well.
Okay. So let's go to defensive player and then MVP.
Okay. Defensive player of the year, this is a tough one because you've seen with Kawhi Leonard, it used to be a solely almost always big man award, but Kawhi's won it the past 2 years. So you can't really count him out because he's really young still, and he's just getting better. But I'm going to have to say as a dark horse for Defensive Player of the Year, and it's not a big man, but it's Avery Bradley.
Really?
And for two reasons. One, he's still really young.
Okay.
And two, besides Kawhi, he might be the best perimeter defender in the league. And if Boston really shows out this year, and which I think they will improve a lot from their record last year, I think he's going to get a lot more attention since it is voted on by the media. So I think Avery Bradley will really get his talents shown on a national scale.
Okay. So I'm picking Kawhi Leonard. I'm picking him as mine, but I've got two dark horses. My one dark horse, I just feel like he'll have a great defensive season, is Paul George.
Okay.
For some reason, I feel like he'll have a great defensive season. My second dark horse is Hassan Whiteside.
Okay.
Because he's a great blocker. He was the best blocker in the league last year.
By far.
By far. But I believe he'll get a lot of votes. He'll get second or third in the defensive player voting.
Yeah. My only thing with Hassan Whiteside is he's a beast at shot blocking, but if you look at him, he doesn't usually block the shots of the guy he's on. He usually comes in, he just swoops in as someone else is driving down the lane. He goes off of his man and blocks the shot, you know what I mean? So, on ball defense, he's not the best, and he can't really switch very well, but off ball, he does get a lot of swats, so he obviously has to be in that consideration. And he just has freakishly long, he has a freakishly long body. I think he has like a 7'7" wingspan or something.
Sounds good. Okay, let's see. Let's go to MVP, the biggest award in the league. So I'm going to pick, I believe MVP this year will either be the people I named for defensive player. It's either going to be Kawhi Leonard, who's going to be beast. He's really going to be a beast in San Antonio. Or if Indiana can get the second seed in the East, I believe Paul George will come back and be like an amazing comeback story for the NBA. So those are my two. And then, of course, you have to throw LeBron, and I'm not going to give it to any Warriors player because they got too much talent over there. They're just going to distribute the ball too much. So those are my three. You got to put LeBron in there because he's the most versatile player right now. But so I'm picking Kawhi, and then my dark horse is Paul George.
Okay, I can see that, and you said record-wise as well. Usually the best record, or top two record, gets MVP. But I'm going to have to switch it up a little, and I'm going to go with... I have three choices as well, and I am going to go Westbrook. I
don't think he'll get it because his team's not going to have a good enough record.
I see that, but I think, honestly, they don't have a terrible team around them.
I know that they don't.
You know, I think I
think they'll get fourth or lower. I don't think they'll get any higher than fourth.
See, I'm saying if they get a top 4 seed, I think Westbrook is going to break out of the norm and win MVP because he's obviously going to be the most valuable player to them. And then second, I know you're going to get angry about this one, but I got to go with James Harden. James Harden.
His team just doesn't have anyone on it.
Let me just tell you, though, 2 years ago, he averaged a ridiculous 27, 7, and 6, okay? And he should have won MVP. Steph somehow won it just because his team was the best. Last year...
He also shot like no other and scored like no other, and he was the leader of that team, so you got to give him credit.
That's true. But I don't know. I still think Harden did more with less. And then last year, Harden swoops in and has a better season than 2 years ago. His team just sucked, and the media hates him, so he didn't even get a All-NBA team, okay? He didn't even get an All-NBA third-team selection. So I think this year he's going to come in again I think he's going to be the leading scorer for one in the league because he basically has to. And then second, I think he's going to average 7 and 7 again. So, and then lastly, I'm going to have to put, as well as you, LeBron. I think MVP, I think this is one of his last chances to get MVP.
Yeah, because I think after this year, I feel like after this year, his decline will come a lot faster than most people think, in my opinion.
See, I honestly don't think he's going to decline that much. I think it's just the Warriors. one of
true.
Durant or Steph is really going to step up as the alpha after next season, and then they'll probably win a string of MVPs like LeBron did in Miami. But I think this is his last chance, and I think he sees that, so he might even push for MVP this year. Who knows?
True. Okay. Well, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in to the JB podcast. Please comment down below who you think should hold these amazing awards in the NBA, and please like and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys next time.